All right, so 2011 AP free response number 3. This is a year where 1 and 2 were calculator, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6 were no calculator. So these should be simpler problems to run because there would be 4 of them during the 45-minute time, or maybe 50-minute time, I don't recall. Let R be the region in the first quadrant closed by the 2 graphs shown, where f of x is 8x cubed, which must be the lower one based on its shape, and g of x equals sine pi x trig, which is the top curve. Okay, so I'll label those immediately. Write an equation for the line tangent to the graph at 1/2. Tangent to the graph of f at 1/2. Okay, well, if we're going to do that, we're going to have to know 2 things. We're going to have to know the point and slope. We'll need a derivative for the slope. So if I just start by taking, do we all agree f prime of x is 24x squared? And do we agree that at 1/2, 24 times half squared? Be really careful here. 1/4 times 24. I think the slope at that point is 6. All right. And if you have f prime of a half equals 6, that's a point. All right, that's one of the points. The other point's going to be for the line.
Now we just wrote equals 6.
You know, you sure hope the guy looked then, don't you? Again, so we write, and did you have this written and just went equals 6 below it? Was there a logical sense? Can you see that? That was, yeah. Again, we don't make stuff up here out of nowhere. All right, now I have to have the point. To get the point, I'm going to use f of a half, all right, which is 8 1/2 cubed, which you guys get f of a half is 1. You'll need that point. Now it's just point slope form. Y minus 1 equals 6 times x minus half. And that's a point. Oh, but they want you to solve, write an equation for the line. So we probably should move the 1 to the other side. Okay?
Ah! But it didn't say we had to.
Yeah, you know what?
Ah!
It's probably good habit to do this. All right? That's the way it's shown in the AP. So that's the answer. Because you're solving for y. Do we agree? But we don't need to distribute. All right? So that's 2 points. 1 for this answer here in the blue, and 1 for f prime of half for A. 2 points. All right. Letter B. Find the area of R. Okay, the area of R is simply the integral from 0 to half of g of x minus f of x dx. All right. Now we just have to do this. And again, our integrand is worth a point. So this integrand right here, because I think you're going to have to write it out this way. At least I'm going to. That is worth a point right here. All right, and we should probably put this in parentheses so we know that dx goes over everything. Now we have to do the antiderivative. That's going to be worth 2 points in this case. We know the derivative of sine is cosine. We know the antiderivative of cosine is negative cosine pi over x. And to get the coefficient to work this time, it needs to be over pi. All right? And then this one, add 1, divide by 2. So again, divide by 4, it becomes 2. And this is from 0 to a half. You guys agree? So there's the antiderivative. That would be worth 2 points. Now it's just get the answer. All right? And we plug in a half. Plug in a half. You gotta be careful here because the 0 doesn't go to 0 this time, does it? Alright, and that's why we always plug in. We don't just say it's 0 goes to 0. That's one of the mistakes I see often. But this is 0. This term goes to 0. So you get negative 2 times 1/2 to the 4th is 1/16, right? So you get negative 1/8 minus a minus. So I'm going to go plus. Cosine of 0 is 1. And that's worth a point. Negative 1/8 plus 1 over pi. All right? That was 4 points. That would be, this would actually be the area of R, exactly. All right?
So where are the points now?
Oh, where are the points for that? Okay, the points are 1 point for this answer, 2 points for this antiderivative, 1 point for the integrand. All right? 4 points. All right. Right. All right. Part C, write but do not evaluate an integral expression for the bottomless solid general when R is rotated about the horizontal line y equals 1. And if I do a decent picture, here's y equals 1. So we're going to rotate that. All right, so again, I immediately see that the integral is 0 to half. And I know since it's about a horizontal line, I'm going to do a of x dx. I also know, looking at this very quickly, this is a ray. And you guys should be able to quickly identify that also. But again, I always take the time to write out this. Because I'm not going to screw up this when I know what I'm doing, right? We want to get these points. So now I take the time and I'm going to erase g of x and f of x. My inside radius, do you guys agree, is that? And my outside radius is that. You have to see, and again, I probably should have left the labels on them, that this is g of x. This is g of x. This whole thing is 1. So, yeah, inside this time is 1 minus g of x. You guys agree? And the outside this time is 1 and again, this section here is going to be 1 minus f of x. Okay? So, wow, and that just looks kind of ugly, but that comes from the inside and the outside in calculating these lengths. And you got to be careful. Don't just automatically assume you can subtract every time. You think through the process, in my opinion, and take the 20 seconds. So, you guys agree this is pi, RO squared minus pi, RI squared, from 0 to half. No credit for that, but here's where we start getting credit. Pull out the, I would imagine this will be credits for that, but we'll see in a second. RO is 1 minus f of x, quantity squared minus 1 minus g of x, quantity squared, dx. Limits and constant, 1 point. Okay? Integrant, 2 points. I would substitute, because they told us what it is, and my final answer I would write on the page would be this. That was worth 3 points. And that makes 9 for the problem.
What's worth 2 points?
That portion was worth 2 points. And this is worth 1.
You miss a parentheses? I mean, an extra set.
If you have an extra set, I don't think it'd take points off.
What if we didn't have enough?
What if you didn't have the outside 2 and you had the dx space? Then you're asking whoever's grading it to assume you understand that dx goes over both parts. Let's not do that again. But I think you're safe if that's the way it goes. All right. And again, this was 2011, no calculator, number 3.